The themes of the panel were primarily about the role of product management in a media company, particularly when you think about the relationship between editorial teams and technology teams and how product management can be a bridge between them. Now that we've launched iPlayer, it's pretty clear to everyone at the BBC that it has been a success, and people are starting to imagine where you could take not only the technology product but also the content to start taking advantage of it. And so there is a greater, I would say, not only acceptance of technology's role in media, but also a desire for the teams to start working together. The editorial team is definitely starting to think of how to use iPlayer and technology in general. And we talk about iPlayer, but that means very specific things to a lot of people in the UK, and that's not the only way. I'd also say that today, by and large, that's a product that is seen as a web product. Now it's expanding to mobile, but also to TV. So the parallel between having an interactive experience by the BBC on televisions and having the linear experience means that inevitably you're going to have to work out how those things interact and how user journeys flow between them. The goals for a given business are not necessarily the same. So even in a commercial enterprise or a public broadcaster, we can still agree that there are specific product goals that we have and directions that we want to take a consumer experience. And I think the important thing to understand is that online is not, and going digital is not just taking the very same product you had and putting it online, putting it on the web, putting it on mobile phones, because you really aren't taking advantage of the medium at that point. The medium is fundamentally affecting the way people consume, the patterns, the times of day when they consume, the place where they are, where they consume, and you have to take that into consideration as you build your products, or else you'll build a direct translation and perhaps the content you had will speak for itself and stand up the product on its own, but that you'll really be leaving behind quite a bit of the value that you could have provided if you'd considered the medium more in the definition of the product. I think commercial sites do have something to learn. I think we have something to learn as well in the use of video online, primarily because there are a variety of different experiences and different places that people are consuming it. If you're using your PC to watch TV in the same mode that you would have with a regular television, there's a lean back experience that you're looking for. And the web tends to be more of a lean forward experience. On the flip side, a great deal of our activity has actually come from people consuming radio and music during the day at work. And so we've noticed a very interesting pattern where people are consuming radio during the day, and then when they get home or at night, they start listening or watching television. And then actually toward the end of the night, just prior to going to sleep, we're also seeing an uptick in radio consumption. All of this online. These are patterns that wouldn't necessarily have aligned with the way people consume in their cars or in other more traditional ways. We're absolutely using data in ways that I don't think we ever expected to when we're defining the products. The interesting thing about in an interactive world, in a two-way network, is that you get a wealth of data back from your consumers. You know how often they start and pause a video stream, you know how long they take to consume a program, you know things that you didn't know before. The trick now is analyzing that data, putting all that information together. We spend a great deal of our time now in doing that. The big challenge for iPlayer now is to take it from the transition of going from an early adopter product to a mass market product. And there's a great deal of the audience that, despite the success we've seen so far, still doesn't engage with iPlayer. We need to solve that, and we need to understand through data analysis what the different types of audiences' behavior, how the differences in their behavior. I think there's a tremendous number of tools out there already that can help you look at the types of data that you're logging and tracking and help you draw conclusions. And I think no matter how big or small an organization, it would be a mistake to try to draw conclusions on your own, just on gut feel, without ever analyzing the data coming out of your product.